What is up, everybody? It's your boy Mizzy, aka Ms. Boy, Ms. Daddy. Just kidding, nobody calls me that. So today, next video is gonna be on my camber kit for the RSX. I bought a KTuned, I believe. Yeah, KTuned rear camber kit for this car, just cause I don't know if you guys remember my last video, which was the BC racing coilover install. I didn't buy the camber kit just because I was too impatient to buy them at the same time, pretty much. And so as you guys can tell, right now it's at stock, and you kind of tell there's a little bit of camber difference right here in the rear, just because the rear doesn't have any adjustable camber on the stock bar that it has there. So I went ahead and just bought the kit, and then today we're just gonna go ahead and install that. All right. Yeah. So pretty much the first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is obviously we're gonna take off the rear wheels on both sides. Most of the people say this job should only take like 2 hours, pretty much, if you know what you're doing. I never done this before. Like I told you at the beginning of the first video on this channel, I've never done anything like this before, so I'm just go ahead and try it. It should be easy though. All right. So in order to remove this camber, or not the camber, I don't even know what this is actually called though. But for the camber kit, you gotta remove this bolt right here, this one right there, and this one right here. And then you can also gonna move, I believe this is might be the speed sensor. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. You're gonna have to remove that too. It should be easy, it's only those three. For this side at least. The other side's a little bit more complicated, but I'll show you in a bit. But for that, you're just gonna need a breaker bar just to get it to loosen up a little bit. And you can go ahead and use a ratchet with an extension just for this one, just because the coil's in the way. And then on top of that, you're gonna need a 19. And then for the ABS or speed sensor, you're gonna need a 10 mil. So yeah. So I pretty much had to use the breaker bar and the extension, and also another extension, just because it's kind of hard to get it in this spot right here. So, because the sway bar is in the way of this one bolt. So in order to get to there, I had to use this in order to get under it and loosen it up. So I already loosened them up, so now we can just go ahead and use the other bar. Let me just make sure it's loose. Yeah. Yeah. So for these two bolts, I didn't take them out all the way just because I'm gonna leave them halfway. So that way, when I take these out, they're not gonna, the bar is not gonna fall. So we're gonna go ahead and just loosen this bolt right here. So that bolt's also a 19, oh sorry, 17. So this one right here. Okay. So don't forget to take off the speed sensor or the ABS sensor, whichever one it is. So you don't want that breaking. If you break that, then you're gonna have a whole hell of a problem. So it should just pop off. There you go. I'm gonna move it out the way. Okay. First one's out. Like I said, there's only 3 bolts. This is pretty much what you're removing. So there's the 2 bolts up there, like I showed you, and the one big one right here. This one actually has a little bracket. So what's cool is the KTuned has its own bracket like this. The majority of the ones that I saw are aftermarket bars. They don't have that little bar, so sometimes you have to make your own custom one or something. Yeah. There you go. Yep. KTuned. So that's pretty much what it is. So what I was talking about, like, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but the fact that this is not adjustable, as you can see, it's just one solid bar. It has 2 nuts on each side, 2 locking nuts, and I would assume this is where you use the middle part to adjust your camber. Yeah. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and make sure these 2 are the same length, like I guess stock wise. And then after these are done, you do need to get an alignment. I still haven't done an alignment after I've done the BC coilovers, just because I was waiting for that part. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, if you're new to the channel, which this is a new channel, go ahead and watch that old video, my last one. It's only 2 videos so far. So I'm pretty much gonna measure from here to there. It's about where that 9. It's a little bit over 9.5. I've stuck at reading tape measures, but it's that little line right there. Right there. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the same thing for this one, just to have it at somewhat stock. So it should be right there, so I have to adjust it a little bit more. So, what I'll do. Oh, by the way, these actually use a 19 wrench. Actually, no, I lied. It's probably a 20. So I just went ahead and found the right one. It's actually a 21, and for whatever reason, my father-in-law does not have a long 21. He has every other one except a long one. So all I could find was just a short one, but I went ahead and just measured it to what seems to be stock. So then I can go ahead, install these, and then go ahead and get an alignment once I'm done. And then also you want to have this facing forward, just because that's where the stock one is. So that's where your ABS sensor goes. Also, just a quick tip, you always just want to give it a small visual inspection, make sure everything is not cracked or defaultive. Like, you always want to take a look at the bushing, make sure they're not cracked. But everything seems to be good. KTuned, it's a pretty good brand. I read a lot of reviews and they said they were on point with their quality. And install this bad boy. All right, should be everything. It was simple. Should be everything that we did, just backwards. So like I said, it's just gonna go ahead, go in like this pretty much, where the 2 bolts went, and that one big one. Oh, it should be facing this way, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then I'll just have to flip this bracket around to over here. But yeah, should be easy. Actually, before we do anything, I'm just gonna go ahead and just clean up these old bolts. As you can see, there's a bunch of gunk on it. I have no clue what it is. But yeah, just gonna clean it up with like a wire brush or something. All right, all clean now. So we can go ahead and install this. Update, I had to drop the car down just cause when I went to go put this back in, these holes weren't exactly aligning with this. I mean, you could extend it and fix that problem, but since I've already pre-measured everything, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a jack and it's gonna lift this whole assembly upwards, which should get you a little bit closer to the holes to line up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, finished the one side. Took a lot longer than it needed to, just cause these 2 bolts did not want to align. Since when you do take this off, for whatever reason I didn't think about it, but this leans over a little bit, so everything's all screwed up. So what I did was I used a jack when I had the car lowered to the ground. I pushed it up here so I can get everything aligned properly, and it just took a little bit longer than it needed to. But first side's done. Like I said, everything is the same thing. The way you take it off, you just do it backwards. Use these 3 bolts, all right? Plug it in, and then either speed sensor or ABS sensor, whatever this is, and you're good. And then I left this loose just because I'm gonna measure it again, make sure That's somewhat stock. And then I'm gonna go ahead and lock these lock nuts right here. So now we're gonna go ahead and do this other side, which is gonna be a little bit harder just cause, let me see, the fuel holes where you put the fuel in is right behind that piece of plastic right there. And as you can see, it's gonna be really close to the bolt. This focuses at all. It's really close to that bolt right there. So we're gonna go ahead and attempt this side now. All right, here's a better view. So like I was saying, the hose to put the fuel in is right behind this plastic piece. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad to get under here. Might have to push this over a little bit, but we'll see how complicated it gets. But it's literally the same thing as the other side. So I'm just gonna have this as like a fast speed run through this, all right? Same thing, 3 bolts and a little sensor bracket. All right, everything's put in, all 3 bolts in. Like I said, this third one was gonna be a pain in the butt just cause this plastic piece was in the way. So a recommendation and a tip is to put these 2 in first and then this rear one. Just cause for whatever reason I kept putting in this one first and then those 2, and it was being a bitch just to align those 2 holes. So I just go ahead and do it the opposite way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and attach the sensor back into the bracket. All right, so that's that. Everything's done. Only thing is I didn't torque spec anything just because I left my torque wrench at work. So I just went ahead and used a breaker bar and just did it pretty snug. Not to the point where I'll strip it, but snug enough. I recommend if you guys have the torque wrench, go ahead and torque it. I don't know the specs for it, but I'm sure you can find it online somewhere or even in the manual. But yeah, so like I said, just attach everything, those 3 bolts, and the ABS bracket right here. So other than that, all you gotta do is just make sure the lock nuts are tightened to where you need where after you measure everything, make sure everything is correct. And you're just gonna go ahead and do that for both sides, all right? Also, by the way, special thanks to my girlfriend, who's camera shy. She helped me record everything. It made it a lot easier because in the last video, as you saw, it was kind of hard doing everything with one hand. But yeah. All right, car is all done. The wheels are tightened. Everything's good. Now I just gotta get in alignment tomorrow, and I'm straight. All right, thank you guys for watching. Goal for today, let me get 10 subscribers and 10 likes on this video, please. Leave some comments down below if you like the video. Also go ahead and place a little button for the